Good day everyone! For today's video, we will explore the structure of a Microsoft Excel, the Excel ribbon, efficient data entry in Excel, formatting an Excel spreadsheet, operations with rows and columns in Excel, creating formulas in Excel, and the mechanics of Excel functions. The top part of the Excel screen is called the ribbon. It is a strip of buttons and icons located above the work area. The ribbons has a number of tabs such as Home, Insert, Page Layout, and etc. Each tab contains relevant commands depending on the type of action that you would like to carry out. Below the ribbon, we have the workspace area. As you can see, Excel sheets are composed of multiple cells and contain many rows and columns. The letters from A to Z are used in order to make the various columns. The first one is A, while the second one is B, and so on. An Excel sheet contains 16,384 columns. That's a lot, right? We have a very similar thing with rows. Every row is identified by a number. We have 1, 2, 3, going all the way down to 1,048,576. To sum up, 16,384 columns and 1,048,576 rows. I'm sure you understand how powerful the program is by this point. And this is just one sheet. We can add as many sheets as we'd like by using Insert Worksheet button. We can work contemporaneously on multiple sheets too. I'll show you how this is done a little later. So in order to add a new sheet, we can use the Insert Sheet button. What if we want to delete a sheet? If that's the case, I can click on it with the right mouse button and select Delete Sheet. It is very easy to trace cells in Excel, thanks to the way sheets are organized. Every cell's coordinates are given by a letter and number corresponding to the column and row where it lies. So for example, the first cell in the worksheet is E7, given that it lies at intersection of column E and row number 7. This is the name box, and this here is the formula bar. The name box shows the name of the active cell where we are at. For example, I can select a different cell and its coordinates will be displayed in the name box. See what I mean? The formula bar allows us to edit or enter information, numbers, text, formulas within a given cell. It allows us to visualize the formulas or the content of the cell. The formula bar is really useful when we start typing Excel functions too. Once you start typing, it displays suggestions of functions that you might be looking for. We will start learning more about Excel functions as Mr. will discuss it tonight. Thanks for listening.
So now, let's proceed to the Excel ribbon. The Excel ribbon has 7 main tabs: Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Data, Review, and View. Other tabs could be added as well, but these are the 7 main ones. Each tab contains commands that you'll need when working with Excel. In this video, I'll try to quickly walk you through their content. The Home tab contains some of the most frequently used commands. It includes buttons such as Cut, Copy, and Paste. Most of the formatting options should be found here as well. You will find features such as font, font size, borders, self-fill, etc. The Insert tab will let you add objects to your workbook. You can insert pivot tables, pictures, charts, etc. In some of our later videos, you will learn how to work with pivot tables and create professional charts. Page layout contains options that help you organize the way the content of your sheet appears. For example, you can select the printable area of your sheet with the Set Print Area functionality. The Formula tab divides the functions in Excel into separate categories and features some formula auditing tools. Next, we have the Data tab, where we can find the commands for working with lists and groups of data. This is where some of the Excel's data management tools are, such as filtering, cell grouping, and data sorting. Then, there is also the Review tab, which allows you to proofread, comment, and protect Excel spreadsheets. Finally, we have the View tab. You can use it in order to customize the way you see your work. You should know that Excel allows you to add some other tabs as well. As you can see that the Developer tab has been added here. It enables us to operate with macros. This was our short overview of the Excel ribbon. Thanks for watching.
In this video, I will show you how to enter, edit, and delete text and numbers in an Excel spreadsheet. Whenever you want to modify the content of a cell, first you have to select it. You will know that you have selected a cell thanks to the black borders that the cell will have once it is selected. In addition to that, the respective row and column of the cell will be highlighted in orange as you can see here. I've selected D4 and column D and the fourth row are highlighted. It is quite easy to enter content in selected cell. You should simply start writing. For example, I'll type the days of the week. We will have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. In order to tell Excel to accept the value that we have written, we can hit enter, one of the arrow keys or tab. The difference is that if you hit enter when entering the data, the next cell that you will be is at the one below, while when you hit tab, you will be moved to the cell to the right. We have the same thing with numbers. Next to each of the days of the week, I'll type the numbers from 1 to 7. You can see that Excel aligns text to the left and numbers to the right. This allows us to understand how Excel reads the data that we've entered. Let's try to type another number below our column. For example, number 8. It is quite possible that sometimes when you start modifying a cell, you will change your mind about doing it. By pressing the escape key, the modification that you made would not be carried out. As you can see, I typed 8, but then I pressed the escape key and the cells remains black. None of the changes that I performed during edit mode are performed. We can use the F2 key when we need to edit the content of a cell. It activates the formula bar and we can start writing. We can change the content of the cell and click enter, and if you want to delete content of the cell, then you also have two options. First, use the delete button on the keyboard or the clear command in the home tab. The difference between the two is that delete leaves any previous formatting that you had, while clear is able to remove the entire content of the cell. This is how you enter, edit, and delete data in Excel. In our next lesson, we will learn how to format our spreadsheets. Thanks for watching!
There are so many options that will allow you to format the cells of your workbooks. You can find them either in the Home tab of the ribbon or through a right-click selecting Format Cells. As you can see, you can change the font and the font size of the selected cells from this part of the Home tab. Let's say that I would like to select multiple cells and change their font to Arial. I will select the cells first and change their fonts from the box containing all fonts that are available in Excel. I will also change the font size of these cells. Let's change it to 12. See? Pretty easy to do, right? We can use these buttons in order to put emphasis on text and numbers. For example, I'll click on this button and the selected cells will be put it in bold. I click it again and the bold effect is removed. We have the same thing with italic and underline buttons. It is very easy to create borders in the cells that we have selected. I will click on the Borders button and select the type of border that I would like to apply. I think I'll select the All Borders option. And ta-da! We have our borders. Similarly, we can add all other types of borders. We just have to select which type of border we want. In case we want additional options, we can click on More Borders or open the Format Cells menu. We will be able to find additional options under the Border tab. We can select the border's thickness and color. For example, I will select a thicker border with a dark blue color and apply it to the outer border of the selected cells. Here's the end result. If we want to change the feel of the cells that we selected, we can do it from here. I'll color the selected cells in gray. In a very similar way, we can change the font color of the content within the cell by using the button on the right. Let's change the font color to white. Here it is. Let's provide a practical example. We have the following table which contains 3 fields: name, company, and telephone number. As you can see, the table doesn't look very good right now. We need to use Excel's formatting options in order to improve its appearance. First of all, I'll select the cells of the first column and align all of them to the left. We can use the Align Left button in order to do that. Then, I'll do the same thing with the cells from the second column. Let's select them and click Align Left. Very well. The second column is aligned to the left. Given that these are telephone numbers, I would like to have them on the right. I'll select the cells and click on Align Right. Do you notice that the data in the top row doesn't seem aligned? The first and the third columns are somewhat below the second ones. Let's select the top row of the table and align them to the top. That's better. Now, let's add a few extra formatting details in the table. Let's change the fill of all cells to white. I'll select the cells and use the Fill Color button in order to change their fill. Here it is. Now, we need to emphasize that the top row is the title row of the table. I will change its font color to dark blue. We'll put it in bold. That's better. The final detail which will complete the table will be to add a border below the title row. Let's open Format Cells and select the Border tab. Here, we can choose the thickness of our border, its color, and exactly where to place it. I will use the dark blue color given that the text is in dark blue. And here is our end result. Not bad for start, right? These commands allow us to organize our data very neatly and efficiently. It was a pleasure showing you some of the formatting options in Excel. Stay tuned!
We already saw that every Excel spreadsheet is made of multiple rows and columns. Now is the right time to learn some operations that will allow us to modify rows and columns in Excel files. First off, when we need to select a row or a column, we need to click on it in the following way. The exact same thing is valid for rows. Alternatively, we can use keyboard shortcuts, Control and Spacebar selecting a column, and Shift and Spacebar for selecting a row. Shortcuts allow us to work much faster. Now that we have a selected row or a column, there are several things we can do with it. We can select its size by changing its border. We can insert a column on its left by using the right mouse button and then clicking on Insert. Finally, we can delete the respective column through a right click and the Delete button. If you need to set a column or a row size to precise number, you can use the column and row with commands. By right-clicking on a selected column, I can find the column with command. Here it is. Then, we need to select the column size. The same thing applies for rows. These are the operations that you need to know when working with rows and columns. Thanks for watching.
One of the strongest features of Microsoft Excel is that it allows users to calculate numerical information using formulas. Just like a calculator, Excel can add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Naturally, it can do a lot more than a calculator. In this lesson, we will learn how to create Excel formulas. It's a pretty straightforward task. We have to select the cell where we would like to create a formula. In this case, it will be D9. We already know how to activate the Edit Cell mode. We have to click F2. Every time when I want to start a formula, I have to use the equal or plus operators. There isn't any difference between the two of them. I'm accustomed to typing equal. Now, Excel knows that we have started writing a formula. There are two main ways to include numbers in the formula. The first one is to type them directly here in the formula bar. For example, 7 plus 9. Excel then calculates the result of the formula, which is 16. The other way to include arguments in a formula is to use references within the sheet. In this case, I have the two numbers 7 and 9 in the two cells above D7 and D8. We need a way that will allow us to point at these cells. When you are in edit mode, you can use the arrow keys or the mouse in order to select cells within the spreadsheet. Then, once you have selected a cell that you need, you can use the plus operator, which will allow me to select the next part of the formula. In this case, it is the cell D8. The big advantage of using cell references is that other users will be able to understand the reasoning behind your operations. You can always combine hard input in the form of numbers with cell references. There is no problem doing that. The typical math operators that you will need in Excel are the usual ones: plus for addition, minus for subtraction, star for multiplication, forward slash for division, caret for degree elevation, and not forgetting parentheses in order to denote a modification to do the usual order of operations. This is it for now. Next, we will cover a very interesting tool that can be added in Excel: formulas.
So now, let's proceed to the mechanics of Excel functions. If you want to be efficient and become a strong Excel user, you have to learn how to use Excel's functions. This course contains a whole chapter dedicated to functions, both basic and advanced. In this video, we will lay out the foundation which will facilitate our future work. Let's see how to insert a function in one of the cells of this sheet. First of all, we have to select the cell where we want to insert the function, and then there are few different ways in which we can add the desired function. For example, we can type equal and then type directly the function's name if we happen to know it. If that's not the case, we can search for the function that we need by clicking on this button here. The window that opens contains all Excel functions divided into categories. The purpose of each function is described at the bottom of the window. We can either search for a specific keyword or scroll down and find the function that we need manually. I will be looking for the if function. Okay, here it is. Let's select it. Once we have found the function, we can double-click on it, and a new window pops up. This is where we need to type the function's arguments. We can click on each of them and read the description that is provided just below. Then, we have to select the arguments of the function. Typically, these are references to other cells within the spreadsheet. In our example, the if function has three arguments. The first one is the logical test, which is the condition that we want to verify. The second one is the value that will be displayed if the result of the logical test is positive. That is, if the criterion is satisfied. And the third argument of the if function is the value that will be displayed if the result of the logical test is negative. Let's provide an example. I want the function to test whether the value in C9 is bigger than the value in D9. This is the first argument, the logical test. Let's type in the second argument, which is the value that will be displayed. If the C9 is bigger than D9, I want to obtain bigger, if that's the case. Then, as the third argument, I will select the value to be displayed. If the result of the logical test is negative, in this case, we will have smaller. Finally, after we have selected the arguments of the function, we can press enter and obtain the end result. Let's see the result of the function. Given that C9 is not bigger than D9, our formula displays smaller, which is correct. To be honest with you, experienced users rarely open the dialog box menu like we did. Much more frequently, they type a function's name directly in the formula bar and work directly from there.
That will be all for our report. Thanks for watching.